Hey guys, it's Jamie, and today we're gonna do a BT25 tier list. We got some new decks, and some more recent decks, all the way from BT24, EX11, 8001 up to now, BT25. And we're gonna go through. We're gonna mix it around. Go through things. Our first thing we're gonna touch is probably gonna be Beelstar. Beelstar. I'll put things here for now. Beelstar, I think, to be a good deck, is gonna counter the beat break deck a bit. If they don't go into Habakiri, Arcturus is vulnerable to option effects. So Digimon effects are protected, but option effects will get them, especially if they overcommit. So I think Beelstar is probably tier 1. I think they do have a good fire security removal. And I wouldn't say, I always forget if they have OTK. I would say it's not easy to get the OTK. So I believe that they're tier 1. If not, if a player is not good at the deck, it could definitely be tier 2 or tier 1.5. I'll put it at tier 1. Let's say you're a really good player, tier 1. Things are subject to change. Next we have Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid, I think, is a menace in the way that it's really simple to play. So you can definitely get things going, just like win games. I think one of the key parts is gonna be the Aldermon. If you can have Aldermon really quick. Aldermon, I think, is a nasty card because one of the deck needs is Rush. So having Rush and also constant end of attack on deletion to play out more Tamers and Tamers every turn is really nasty. This goes well with the triple color Tamer, which gave you 2 sources really easy to get the Digivolving requirement. So I think Red Hybrid is a really nasty and can definitely like just win games off of just like not allowing opponent to breathe. If you have the perfect hand, which is just going from a rookie to a 4 that can swing in digital for reduced cost into like an Aldermon, play out any Tamer, preferably triple color Tamer, or set the rest of the game. As most likely your opponent can't answer that, especially return 1. So I'm gonna give Red Hybrid tier 1. It does have some weaknesses, but I think if you're just having a good run, it's tier 1. Because apparently you're eventually gonna brick and you don't know what to do against Red Hybrid. Be tier 1, especially if your deck doesn't have any stun. Alright, next we're gonna go into Siriusmon. Now Siriusmon is getting VB support in EX12, so I do think there's potential there. That's so I can redo my list when EX12 comes out. But at the moment, I think it's tier 2 to tier 3. It's a bit more on the casual side. You definitely win, especially with the new update, but its engine and core is a bit outdated, I would say, which sort of sets his deck back. Like the Tamers aren't that great. There's not really modernized, a bit not updated. The new 6 is great. I like the 6, but where's everything else? So again, it is going to be not 1, 3. It'll be tier 2. Next we have Gallantmon. I know Gallantmon topped in 2nd place in Baton Rouge, but now we're getting to a new meta where what I like about Digimon currently is that every deck is getting faster. By every deck, I don't mean like 2 decks at a time, 1 deck at a time. There's like 5 new decks, all given really good power right off the get-go. And I think it's competing against Gallantmon. Gallantmon's what needs is sometimes is a lot the X forms or things to delete. And decks are gonna go OTK you like Beat Break, or I should say Glowing Dawn. It's a bit rough sometimes. So sometimes they need board presence, and not every deck gives that. So I'll get Gallantmon 1.5. Let's go into Ex Machina. Similar to like a lot of these to like Gallantmon, it's a good deck, but the fact that it needs a decent amount of setup or like the right cards in the right time makes it rough. And I believe nowadays decks could, or a lot of decks can be faster than it. So because of that, it is low tier 1.5 to being just high tier 2. I'll give it to 1.5 for now. See where it sits. Next we have, I believe this could be like a Junomon here. Now Junomon, I hear it has really good OTK potential, but I think a lot of these decks, a lot of decks here do have OTK potential as well. So where would I give it? I think it hurts. It gets hurt by Crimson Blaze, and I don't mean like by a bit. I mean like by a lot. Some decks can do setup during their Crimson Blaze like turn when it can't special summon anything. But I think Junomon has a tough time. So I would like to give it high 1.5 or just low tier 1. So I'm gonna give it low tier 1 for now. Just because I haven't done enough testing with it to see what is there to do during the Crimson Blaze turns, or if even Crimson Blaze is relevant in the meta. So it's low tier 1. Next we have pick Medusamon. Medusamon, I did play against it recently, and I would say it's still a good deck. One thing that I didn't like about it was I main Jupiter. So playing a Jupiter, I had tough times. I had to remove security, and sometimes I had to do pop things. But now with the blue Agiochist and like other things available, like let's say Ceresmon, right? They're unaffected by their effects, and can definitely hurt them by doing minus DP, which can help a lot, and especially redirect. So because of that, I think Medusamon is still really strong because nothing much changed to counter them really hard. It's just that not every deck is affected by or not ruined by them anymore. So I gave it 0 tier 1. I don't know if anything counters it at the moment, but I don't think anything really does. So I'll give it high tier 1 or low tier 1. But I still think it'll stay tier 1. I'm not debating where it gets into 1.5. Next we have Imperial territory. Now even though Imperial did get support and got like got like a new secret, just because it got a secret, I don't think it becomes a good deck. So because of that, I'm gonna give it probably tier 2. Surprising, right? But I think decks like Ceresmon or maybe like Junomon, just decks that can easily sort of trap them out is really good. Also, if there's actually any decks are faster, because Paildramon kind of rely on Daves and Ken, how I see it, to like match the pacing of these new faster decks. I think it's pretty rough. And with decks like Digivolve, they don't really get their partition anymore, or things that battle like the Glowing Dawn or Vortexmon. It gets rough for Paildramon. So I'm gonna give it Paildramon tier 2. It will go above Siriusmon at least. Next we'll give Jupiteromon. Now Jupiteromon has been unexplored, I would say, because people keep putting it like tier 2. And I think regardless of whether it was BT25, EX11 up to now, I think Jupiteromon has always been tier 1. And the fact that I got more stuff to support it, I think it is one of the best decks in the format. Am I biased? Of course. But I do like its flexibility. I do love its like protection, sort of toolbox top end they can provide it. It's not just two megas and you're good. It's like something you have to run three to 4 different ones. And I like that. I'm gonna put it at the top of tier 1 above Beelstar. Next, let's do Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. Now, Imperialdramon Fighter Mode does have a good chance, because I know people are exploring Ceresmon, people are exploring Angels, so it's like Fighter Mode effect to like stop special summoning, similar to Crimson Blaze, is really good. Now, the thing is to stop everyone. I wouldn't say so. It does help. I think it's a bit. I think it doesn't hold enough aggression. Sometimes it does need to chip, which allows hybrids or crossheart to get back in the game, or just even close out a game against them. So I think it's a bit rough. So because of that, I'll give it Low tier 1.5 to tier 2. I think I'm more inclined to high tier 2 for now. You know what? I think Ex Machina is probably worse than Imperialdramon, red purple. So I'm gonna put Ex Machina down to tier 2, and we'll bump up red purple up. Here I have Ceresmon. Now I know Ceresmon is interesting. I know people are interested in the deck, as in like what it does with itself combined with Bacchus, but I know Bacchus is a bit lackluster for some people, and actually have been changing it up, and putting in BloomLord. BloomLord can now abuse the TS engine, because what I think TS does better than what the current BloomLord does is it somehow goes 1 or 2 more bodies, and you might think that's not much if they're all gonna get board wiped, but they're not gonna get board wiped. They have protection from Digimon effects thanks to Ceresmon, and the more bodies you have, the more memory you can get. I think this is really neat. I know people are trying to do like a trap scenario, but they have Ceresmon and they have Volcanicdramon to like lock down the board. I think it's really neat. But the thing is, I don't think the deck is the best because there's stuff that balances out their mechanic. Which deck like Marsmon, they can bonus their DP by a lot and battle people. But battle doesn't really go through the normal procedures as attacking does. So you don't get counter timing. The all turns timing is one of the key things that battle interrupts or interjects. Is like, hey, before you get your effect, we're gonna battle. We're gonna determine who wins. If I win, you're destroyed. If you're destroyed, your effect is not on the board. I think it's really interesting about that. I think Ceresmon is probably, I want to give it a tier 1.5, but I'm not really sure about that. But just because it's new, it's borderline tier 1.5 to tier 2 for me. I'll give it tier 1.5 for now. If after some testing, maybe before Shambhala, I'll give out a new tier list format. Next, let's have Vortexmon. It's already on here. Vortexmon, I believe, is okay. I think sometimes it's really slow. Any decks that have to go into a level 7, I think it's a bit rough, especially if it's very demanding. Because I don't see anyone close out with Safaga as much anymore. It's about controlling the board with the Vortex. The Vortex is a good card, I think, going with Ceresmon. But I've mentioned the BloomLord is abusing the memory gain, which they can. So Vortexmon filling in that memory portion is great. Because sometimes you're at 4 memory, 3 plus memory. You keep turn, but you don't have much to do. You already swung. You go to Vortex. Be immune by Digimon effects and become like the biggest blocker known to man. So because of that, Vortex is great with Ceresmon, right? You like maybe bump it up. But I think Vortex on its own with its own Safaga support is okay. It's very slow, sometimes depending on the board. I think it's okay. It's also a really complicated deck, which makes it harder for it to get definitely win in regionals, especially if the player has a win for 9 rounds straight. Like, it's really hard. I'm gonna give it tier 2. Sorry. Next we have Alter S. Now which one are we talking about? We're talking about the BlitzGreymon, Ceresmon one. Now is it good? 8001, it was kind of disgusting because you're unfit with Digimon effects, ping pong for kind of for free, and you have a really strong blocker, especially I think in DNA to Alter S on opponent's turn. It's really interesting and really high roll if they get it. Now the thing is, much as it kind of was tier 1 8001, kind of went down with dual cards coming out. And I think Ceresmon and BlitzGreymon are more vulnerable. So I would say Shine and Beat Break and other decks of the sort, or like Beelstar, and it mess with it. I think it's not as great of a deck as it was, and I think that hurts it a lot. There's too many decks that got dual cards, and too many. So I think it's kind of tier 2. Maybe tier 1.5. Okay, we'll give it tier 1.5. It top locals pretty often, but I don't think it tops the regionals consistently at all. So I would like to give it tier 2 in the sense that I don't think it does super well in regionals, but tier 1.5, it'll win locals. Do pretty well. Now, Let's go Volcanis. Volcanis, I haven't tried it much, but I did try it. My friends tried it, and our impressions is it's a nope. I'm not sure what the deck needs. I'm not sure if it needs a better bottom end. I'm not sure it needs a better complementary secondary mega. I think there's some. All the Olympus came out. There's definitely megas for the deck. There's a Minerva maybe to complement sort of a control-y playstyle, but I don't think the deck is. Maybe there's some support hidden next set in BT27, or was it 26? I don't think it's good right now. So we'll move on. Next we have Ancient Light Hybrid that I think a person named vtamer.exe made in a deck list, and the deck's actually pretty viable. I did play against it. Did play against him, and it's very interesting. Now, do I think it's consistent enough? Do I think it's gonna win a regional? I don't think so. Yeah, with stuff like Rebootmon coming out, it could definitely hurt the deck more because it's a bit slower than a hybrid. It's a lot more control-y, and it's aiming for the OTK plan. So because of that, I think it gets a bit lower and gets to tier 2. While we're here, there's a lot of tier 3, there are a lot of tier 2s. I'm moving Siriusmon to tier 3. I'm sorry. We'll move you up during VB, okay? When Virus Buster comes out, you're good. You got cards. You got, look at this. Planet Punch, Progress, a new hero that does something in his memory sets. Virus Buster Field Spell, it only costs 2. You're good. You're good when it comes out. For now, you can take a break for a bit longer. Tier 3. At least I'm not putting in a nope. Right, next we have Hudiemon. Now Hudiemon got Destruction Cannon. I think people did lose hope on it, so it's a bit out of the radar. And it may seem like it's nothing, but I think it's has somewhat of the rush potential because you're constantly bouncing things back and forth with your tamers. So you're slowly building value. And you're doing like 2 checks at a time. And there is a new card for it. Kind of. There's Shakkoumon. Shakkoumon definitely heal you. Heal your Angemon back in security and trash the top. You do like a pseudo 2 checks with Shakkoumon. And you have the answered board with them because of Digivolve. So I'm going to say the deck is tier 1.5. I think the deck has to be explored more. I don't want to, just because there's a hit on it, I don't think it's gone forever. I like the deck. I invested in the deck. It's just tier 1.5. You know what? It's tier 1 for now. Okay, it's tier 1. I said it. So next we have, let's do Shine. Now, there's 2 different Shines. There is Data Squad Shine and ShineGreymon. Now, which one I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna say there's no Data Squad in this tier list. I'm gonna say this is Shine. Now, Shine is probably tier 1.5 to 1. I haven't tested it against it enough, but also I don't think the new card showed anything too new for me besides outing Digimon that are protected by Digimon effect. So Arcturus from Glowing Dawn, Digimon effects, protection, so is Rebootmon, so is Ceresmon. So I think there's some room for it to be good, but I think it's not going to be the best deck. I believe the vibes, besides the Rise Greymon, doesn't really have protection for the ShineGreymon. So if anything bad happens to it, things will go bad. So I find it a bit rough for Shine. Also, Shine does need tamers, especially the Marcuses that punch and give free Evo. So if you don't have any of those Marcuses that says that gives you the free Evo, it's definitely rough. So what Marcus do we have here? We have, I believe, the new 8001 Marcus. 3. and you have the OG 4-cost market. So if you have those two, there's now like, you can get 2 playsets worth. It's definitely easier to find like a rookie, but definitely not confirmed. Definitely had to spend time to get on board. So I'm gonna say it's tier 1.5. I would love to say tier 1, not really, because I hated that format when he was oppressive, but I'm gonna say he's tier 1.5. Next we have, let's do Rebootmon. Now Rebootmon had been coming in the scene, where it's actually one of the most surprising like decks ever. This is a bit of a dark horse. Well, not a dark horse, but it's an underrated pick. Reason being that Atmon decks have been lacking a weakness where they're just too slow. There's no cheating at all. It's not even it's just fair. It's kind of like a learning deck. If you want to teach new players how to play the game, you just give them an Atmon deck. It'll give you 6 different archetypes. How you just pick it. Now this kind of does what Atmon needed. Gives you reduced link cost. So if you link correctly, you will sort of fusing / evoing for free into Logimon. Logimon can link for reduce 1. So you like evoing for 1 into Bootmon. Bootmon, reduce by 2. You evoing for 1 into Rebootmon. Because of that, there's a lot of cheating involved. And also, your tamer and your egg can help reduce link cost. That's one more thing besides what's built in the deck already. Lastly, besides linking from hand or sources, you link from trash. And I think it's really disgusting. Like this whole black side can link from trash. And that's not all. The link effects are actually really strong. It isn't just pop a body. It does what's kind of needed in this current format, which is stopping your opponent's tamers or Digimon from suspending. I don't want to pop you. I usually want to make sure you're neutralized. Some of them even bottom decks to avoid on deletions. So I'm gonna bottom deck you. Just get you're there. For decks like Red Hybrid, that sometimes recur to all the ones back from trash, bottom decking is the best solution for the deck. So Atmon, you get a low tier 1 from me. I want to say it's really good, but I need more testing because sometimes I think I'm too hard focused when I play test with Atmon or Rebootmon that I'm trying to go to my 6 so bad, but I think I need to stop doing that. Maybe find other ways to toolbox the deck. I know I've seen red cards flying around. I've seen Ceresmon being teched in. So we'll see where the deck goes. I'm interested in it. Alright, what do we have next? Royal Knights. Okay, I know I have a buddy that's into Royal Knights and ShineGreymon. And I think I don't know where it sits. I don't think there's any new cards. I don't think there's anything that makes it stronger. Whether it's like the opponents that are currently available now. Because of Beat Break, I think it's really in a bad spot. Beat Break, I think, is a defining, like glowing dawn defining deck in the format. I think that Royal Knight should definitely sit it out a bit. I think battle is a huge thing. I think deleting the lowest DP is a huge thing. The fact that you can do like 2 within the same turn, like reasonably, without needing a miraculous amount like a memory, is insane and does hurt the Royal Knight's deck. So because of that, it gets tier 3. And the deck has barrier, so if it does have a hint to anything banned in security, it's gonna be okay. Okay, next you have Crossheart. Now Crossheart just got support 8001. I might not think it's much because it wasn't. Well, Crossheart has been out of the scene for a while, but the new Katona Mono from BT25 helped the deck a bit more, and new EX like 7 card helped the deck a lot. It's a lot more kill potential while staying within like the stack you just played. You can evil for what 2 on suspend, and also provide a nice trap. You have an alternate effect. The alternate effect lets you play out from sources, so you can even play out a Z. Zeke added so much for the deck because it gave the deck so much more DP. Really interesting to see how Crosshair's doing. It's been doing pretty well. I'm gonna give it a tier. I'm giving too much tier 1. We'll give it tier 1.5. I don't think it cheats as much as Red Hybrid. I think sometimes you do need to take up turns to play your team, which makes you a bit slower. I would like to give it tier 1.5. It's pretty strong. I like it. Next, I have Lucemon. Now, Lucemon, I think sometimes it's too generous of a deck. I think it gives too much memory. And sometimes I think people aren't really scared of the life or death situation where you need to delete someone or they recover, delete someone or you try to carry. Like, I don't care. We don't care anymore. Because I'm going to end you next turn. It doesn't matter. Because of that, I'm going to give it probably low tier 2. I think you can do decent at logos. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go 0x. You will be fine. But I will give it tier 2. Next we have Neptunemon. Neptunemon was a big thing in the beginning of BT24, but died down. And I think people like the top end and just realized, oh, I just like the top end. I want other pieces of it. So because of that, it became more towards TS Toolbox, which is better. That just fell off. Rukimon is very similar. No, I wouldn't say it that. Rukimon OTK was a really interesting deck, but the thing is, it was too gimmicky. Sometimes you're looking for the pieces for a really long time. It take a long time, especially that people can sometimes just counter it by playing correctly with the memory gauge. The E5 memory, you can't play Heroic Asana, so you can't use for free. You can't play Digimon while evoing for 2. It's a bit rough. And sometimes you're taking forever to find a Danyuki to help you swing for game, or a Sylphimon, or a Maruki, and you don't have enough a lot of evos, so it's kind of rough. So I'm gonna give it a tier 2. So I think it's pretty simple deck. I think it's fun. So I'm gonna give this right below Paildramon. Ex Machina, go right here next to Vortex. Next we have TS Toolbox. Now TS Toolbox did get more stuff. I think Diaboromon is a new key card for the deck that people have been looking into. I haven't looked into too much else, but I think Monica could be another thing that's good for the deck, just to give it more memory. So I'll give Toolbox a tier 1.5. I've not tested it out myself since I'm not really interested in Toolbox, but I'll give it tier 1.5. So we have, is this the Bears deck? We just didn't put Marsmon in. Okay. The Bears deck, I think it relies too much on the board, similar to like Vortexmon, Gallantmon. So because of that, I'll give it a tier 2. It's still a strong deck that punishes and allows for comeback. I'll give it tier 2. The goal is to swing and go into a Ceresmon, and you don't need to have another opponent's body on opponent's board. Sometimes I feel like you ask you so much for this to be your first mega, like for sure. Go into Marsmon afterwards. I think they're asking a bit much. It's just something you don't have enough memory to like go up the line. I'll give it tier 2. Next you have Synramon. Synramon, I know it was strong. I think it's people stop playing it. I don't keep track on why it's here, why it's. But I'm gonna say Hurricane Screw Shot. What tokens don't have levels. I would say the deck. I don't think the deck OTKs, so because of that, it's opened, get killed. But it has protection, but only has 1 protection. So I think you can definitely remove it. With decks like Crossheart, they can definitely remove all the tokens and kill it. Huh. I'm gonna give Synramon tier 1.5. I give it high tier 1.5. Next we have Heavy Metal. It was a really good deck. It got support in PvP Bandai. I think it's really good. We can set it down for note for now and never touch it again. Next we have Diaboromon. I would love to say Diaboromon is tier 1. I love his role in our war game. But he is a tier 3. But for now, I'll keep him there because I like him. Next we have Mirage. Now, this Mirage Data Squad? No, I think you do OTK gimmicky Mirage Gal. Classic. Tier 1.5, right next to Shine. I think he's just really good. I think there's so much things to do, especially with the new Marcus being put out for free. And you should definitely mix the bottom end with Data Squad just to like cheat memory a bit more. Besides that, the top end and kind of like the Thomas are about the same. Next we have Millenniumon. Now Millenniumon does have Machinedramon Lube. The thing is, I know it takes a bunch of time to set up. But the thing is, if you're chipping and suddenly hit the options, you're kind of screwed sometimes. A bit rough for you to win. So don't give him time, hopefully. I think decks are getting faster enough that you don't give him time. Millenniumon gets tier 1.5. Tier 1.5 is getting too big, so let's move some stuff. Let's do fighter mode down a bit. Let's move Neptune down a bit. That's good for now. Tinomon. I think Tinomon's actually pretty good. The thing is, does it have enough? Does it have a lot of search potential? It's not. But the thing is, once you get going up the chain, it gets really strong. And I think your level 5s sometimes are just really strong toolbox that can get people, or trying to get people in a rut. Because of that, Tinomon is tier 1.5 for me. Next we have Queen Bee. Now Queen Bee, I heard it's good. I just don't play against them a lot. And I think they're probably okay. But I think the setup to me sounds like a lot. Because of that, I'll give it tier 3. If you want to give a case for it in the comments down below, go ahead. I think there's a chance for it to be tier 2 or tier 1.5. I just don't know anything about the deck. And from my impression on it, it's a tier 3 deck. But prove me wrong, please. I'd love to see the deck be Shakkoumon. Now there's a Hudiemon advanced deck. If you guys bought it, it's still a really good deck, especially if you want to learn about comboing and how to like get people off guard, caught off guard with your main mode. And I think that you made a good choice for a deck, but I do think it's tier 2. I think in the deck it's so old school that only the 6s can answer boards, and the level 3 to 5 is just to help you get to there. But the thing is, I don't think they help you get to there fast enough. Because of that, I think Shakkoumon is tier 2. Maybe if they allow the broken part, which is the Volcanicdramon Shakkoumon combo, which they shouldn't, it can be tier 1, but right now it's tier 2. Next we have Grace Novamon. Now Grace Novamon I think has potential, but I do think sometimes it's really expensive. And also there is the Digivolve just for shipping. I think hurts the deck a lot because partition doesn't matter if you can ship what's getting partition. You can Digivolve it so it lose partition, and none of your 6s don't have any protection whatsoever. So because of that, it doesn't get tier 1.5, it doesn't get tier 1, it gets to mid tier 2. Sorry. Next we have Rocks. Now Rocks I think is a good deck. It is OTK. It needs 1 chip at least to go for a game. And I don't think that's too hard to ask for, but sometimes it is hard to get the emblems close online. I still think it's a good deck. I'm gonna give it tier 1.5. Let's lower some stuff. I think it's a good spot. Then we have a Galacti. Galacti is... I have a friend that plays it. He says it's a fun deck and nothing else. He played in a tournament maybe once or twice. I don't remember his results, but I don't think it's pretty. I would say it's probably tier 3. Getting support, I believe he's getting an emblem soon, when the similar to when the Eugene Ozura gets it. Yeah, in P Bandai they kind of hinted at the emblem coming out. So there's like a Ragnarok emblem, whatever it's called. P Bandai. So I think he's gonna get support. Hopefully it's enough. I think it's tier 3. Okay. Now is this the end of our tier list? Oop. We have one more deck. We have the Glowing Dawn deck. The Glowing Dawn deck, I think, is one of the best decks in the format. There's 2 versions. I think both are fine. The green base or yellow base. You can pick whichever you like. Now, just because you pick yellow base doesn't mean you're weaker or you're more control. It's just a different way to play. You're sort of risking it all, go early, and be less tamer dependent, and swing for like 2 checks, and present sort of present maybe lethal by now. So with that in mind, I'm gonna make it tier 1. I've been guessing up the whole time. I think it's tier 1. Yeah, this is my tier list. I think we can maybe move Alterus down a bit. Alterus doesn't OTK. Does it get a bit rough? Ceresmon, I can see it topping somehow. But I think it's low tier 2 or low tier 1.5. I think this is the list. So if you have any questions for me, or want to defend your deck, or want to maybe input your, maybe if I missed some decks you think it deserves to be in the tier list, let me know down below. If you like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I've been here for a while, but I'm definitely planning to post more videos. I'm planning to make more gameplay videos once per week, or more, depending how often I can get to record. I've been getting busy. And yeah. Hope you guys have a great day, or not. The choice is yours. Goodbye.